Hello, I'm Dr. Wendy Rowley, and this is a new series, or it's another series, I should say it that way, because we don't know when you're coming in to listen to this. It's a series titled How to Have a Peaceful Heart. And it goes along with the segue of the series that she's bringing in called The New Christ Connection, How to Have a Peaceful Life, and How to Have a Peaceful Heart. How to have a peaceful life. And also the new perspective on the bardo, or the end of life process, and some things that are going on there. So, on how to have a peaceful heart, I was blown away with a whole bunch of new information I did not know. So, I'm going to do my best to get out of the way for you and not think or feel and be a clear channel. And let's see what this series will unfold for us. And I don't do a lot of talking because I do most of that in the workshops and classes. And we're busy people, and I want these to be short. I find I just don't really have the time to listen to things that are longer now. And I've heard a lot of comments in that regard. So Alenia, who I work with in bringing these healing paradigms and the Great Global Healing Party and this information on YouTube, has also been making them shorter recently. And I don't think it's just my asking. I think it's an information overload that we're going through, especially in the United States. It's just at you 24/7. And your awareness is your gift. It's a very powerful thing. And what you give your attention to is very powerful. And everyone wants your awareness. They want your attention. So you don't have to give your awareness to every place and everything. Save it for what's important for you. That's how I look at it. Okay, because you can end up just sort of fried. They have actually done a study where they found too much information is an overload. And I think we all feel that. Okay, let me get out of the way. I sound like I'm lecturing. Okay, here we go. Oh, good day to you, dear beings of light. I am Alienia of Cosmic Service. I am a Pleiadian Mother of Sound. Those of you who have been listening to this one's information on her Wonder of Human Design YouTube channel are familiar. If you're new, she did a little intro, but we would like to add something. We're also here to not only heal the human consciousness grids and put in some profound upgrades, but we're also here to exchange information with you, to let you know some of the more profound things that are going on at the energetic level of the planet that are causing some of the things going on in your material reality, people getting worked up in wars and a lot of stirrings going on. And we're also here to exchange some information that will begin to come forward in 2027, which is a brand new perspective. And we're not going to speak about that now, but that is the second primary reason we are here, besides healing the human consciousness grid. And this is new information to this one. She's never heard any of this. So there is a lot still to unfold in this great shift. The most juicy, someone asked her, what does that mean, juicy? And she meant to be in alignment, in coherence with your soul and higher self, in the greater good of all, in your heart and high heart, aligned with the creational and the creator. That's how she sees it. So it's basically to be in a good place and be healing, creating, and feeling like you're on your path. You're on your soul's mission. You're in the right place at the right time, and everything feels aligned. And we all try to maintain that state of juicy, but it is not possible to maintain it all the time. But it is a very good intent to have it as a goal for maintenance, to maintain your juiciness. Okay, and that also was a statement told by Hildegard von Bingen long ago in the 13th century, who was a pretty profound abbess who did some sound healing and some sound work. And she used to write the Pope and sign it, "Stay Juicy." And this one has that expression also from being a prior chef in her life. So it's she talks in food terms a lot, and that's why, if you don't Okay, so how to have a peaceful heart. This series, again, is going to be a little bit of a mind blower. It's going to be not what you think, and it's going to have some new information in it, and it'll have some suggestions that you can do now through 2025 and 2026 until the divine feminine comes online in 2027 to help you stay in a balanced heart, because it's still a little bumpy until 2027. As we told this one, 2026 is the most difficult year since 2012 of the Great Shift. Things are stirring up, emotions are stirring up, energies are bringing up a lot. And so we are wanting to give you some tools for the next year and a half. And these tools will work very well for the next year and a half, and then after that, they won't. And that's the way it goes. Okay, so in the idea of how to have a peaceful heart, we found in the series, How to Have a Peaceful Life, that there is actually a peace pathway. And in case, in your energetic spiritual anatomy. And in case you haven't listened to that particular series first, we're going to explain that again. The peace pathway is in your spiritual anatomy. It is above the energy in your spirit body of your high heart from the ages of, and we're going backward now on your timeline, between the ages of 2 years old to 2 months in the womb to what's called your first cell after your parents' egg and sperm come together and form the first cell. And it is also in what is called the death bardo and the birth bardo. We have said that there's 3 profound things that can happen in this. You can heal blocks that are in the way of your life mission. You can heal your core heart's disharmony with your mother, because she's the last person you see when you exit from this lifetime, and she's who you were born through. And it's a profound relationship because it's very deep soul to soul relationship. And everyone has an experience at some point of being a mother because it's important. And if you believe in reincarnation, but if you're listening to this one for any length of time, you most likely do. And so it's used for healing. It's used for healing the core heart energy of your mother, and it can be used for healing the peace pathway itself for some things in there, because there's other energies that go through there. So that's what the peace pathway is. And it is, we've said that the energy force of peace is an ebbing and flowing force, and that your soul ebbs and flows it through you, and that when you sleep and your body and your etheric energy stay behind and repairs the physical body, you go off in your what's called your astral or spirit body, and you go to soul at night and do a variety of things. And that this one's sort of gotten in the way. Let's just give her a second to get out. She started to think. That pathway is also impulsed by the peace pathway, the dream space or the sleep space or the interim dream space or the interim sleep space. For those of you who are into dream work, you actually have 4 spaces. In interim sleep, sleep, dream, interim dream. So you go into sleep, but you come out of dream. And we're going to give a special YouTube channel on dreaming, because there's a lot of people who are into that. But for those who are listening to this who are into that, that's why we're saying those 4 spaces, because they're all related to coming in and going out when you go to sleep. So the energies of the cause of the peace, which is also a cosmic energy coming from the starry space through your soul, is an ebbing and flowing energy at night, at day. And so the ability in this stage of your evolution to be in a peaceful state at all times in that pathway and in that energy flow in this type of body that you're in now is not possible. but you can still have moments of peace, and you can still clear that pathway, clear your mother's core heart energy, clear the bardo, birth and death spaces, and still feel a greater sense of inner peace. So healing does bring about peace, and that's important to know. And healing also brings about greater joy, and that's important to know. So the peace pathway is also related to the heart pathway. It's a separate pathway, but it is related. So the heart pathway is very complex. It has approximately 85 channels coming off of it. Not all of them are opened, and not all of them are in the evolution you are in now. But overall, your heart field pathways number 85, for those who've always wondered. And your heart field has within it many levels and energies within the heart field. And you have 3 main types of heart fields. You have your lower heart field, your upper heart field, and your creational heart field. These are often described as deities, God of the heart, and the supreme being pathways in energy healing schools. And these heart pathways have a connection into the peace pathway. And that's so that the healing can go forward. And the peace pathway also has its own connection into the heart pathway, or the heart field pathway to all of those 85 paths. And that's purposeful. And that's so that you can have the ability to find peace in your heart. So you need the heart to heal in the peace pathway, and you need the peace to have peace in the heart pathway. So they sound like they complement each other. And they do. And this is interdimensional DNA 4 and 5. And this is why they complement each other and go together. So some things that some people have said before about interdimensional DNA are because they relate to the spiritual anatomy. Okay, and at some point we're going to do the spiritual anatomy of interdimensional DNA for the healers that want that. Okay, so we've now established that there's a relationship between the peace pathway and the heart fields and all of its many pathways, not all of which are online and functioning and evolving and moving. You have approximately 1/8 of all of these pathways functioning and evolving and opened at this time. So that's our introduction. And let us now give you a little synopsis of what this will be. This will be 7 sessions or episodes in this series. There will be explanations. There's going to be understanding. There's going to be new information. And then at the very last one, there'll be the suggestions of something you can do to maintain a peaceful heart for the next year and a half, while the divine feminine keeps moving through from the noosphere out of the periphery of the planet, from the group collective consciousness where it was placed in. It's percolating down through consciousness layers into the manifested layer. Last year it went through the white gold healing layer of consciousness. And, this year it went through the white gold healing layer of consciousness, and it's healing a lot of consciousness bursting forward, different ideas and polarity, and people are kind of worked up. And next year it goes through the blue-green healing layer, and there'll be even more you'll be able to heal with this new divine feminine energy. But for now, it's still a little bumpy through the rest of this year because that's consciousness. And behind all healing is needed a change of consciousness. So whereas all in the blue-green layer is not all pure consciousness that needs healing. Some of it's actually physical healing, where the consciousness has changed and had the realization that it needed to in order to heal, because you have to have a change in consciousness in order to have healing. And so the consciousness has changed, but the healing in the body hasn't. That's the blue-green layer. It's got a little bit more interflow with the physical body. But the white-yellow healing consciousness layer, farther up, closer to the noosphere, is filled with polarity and consciousness thoughts and differences and opinions and ways of doing things, and it's probably the most intense of all the things, the layers that needs healing. And so that's what we wanted you to understand. And this is what this series will be like. So now you know, and if it doesn't appeal to you, you can move on. And if you're interested, you can keep exploring. So if this one doesn't appeal to you, just move on. And if it does appeal to you, please like, comment, and subscribe. And there's plenty of other people out there that you might find more appeal with. For there's a lot of levels of consciousness and a lot of different types of healers and a lot of work coming forward and a lot of people doing things. So just keep searching. You'll find the right group for you. And you're also going to find more men's group because we have done a shout out that more men need to have their own groups, with some juicy fellow who's leading them, who feels the call to do that, because you men need your own groups. You need your own male energy. It's different. And you need some fellows to come forward and start working the healing paradigm at the men's level. And that's coming. And there's a really juicy one coming. And this one knows it. Okay, so this is what we wish to share with you this day, that you are dearly loved, to expect benevolence in all you do, and we bid you adieu.